So we just went through this yard to check cell acceptance, and it was excellent. All the nukes on the ground and all the colonies had a queen cell in them, and we had a 90% take, so it's very good. This spot is an excellent spot, except for one thing, and it's going to force me to move this yard. About a quarter mile from here, straight in that direction, is an apple orchard, and right beside it is a vineyard. And these bees are going over there to get the Dutch white clover and the grass under the apple trees and the grapes, and it's hurting us. This is going to be the fourth, if I was to stay, this would be my fourth summer in this location. I've always struggled to keep these bees healthy and robust. I've never been able to do it. As soon as we get them in really good shape, it seems like a month later they're suffering. So I'm forced to move them. I don't have a choice. And I can't blame the orchard owner or the vineyard owner. It's not their fault. They're doing what they have to do to keep their business going, but I'm going to have to move these bees to get out of harm's way. And it really is a shame for the apple orchard, because I've been pollinating his apples for 3 years in a big way. I'm sure he doesn't even know the bees are here, but they won't be here next year. And again, it's a shame. It's a good site in every other way. It's a good sourwood yard. It's a good overwintering yard. It's a good mating spot, obviously. All is well, except for just getting exposed to those chemicals. I'm getting more and more attuned to that every day. Nowadays, I look back on the past, and some of the problems I've had in the past are starting to make more sense to me. This is a problem. Chemicals in the fields. Here's my problem. I have an apple orchard right here with Dutch white clover growing in the grass, and the same thing is going on up there in a vineyard. So I know they spray a lot of both fungicides and pesticides on apples, and I get it. People don't want to buy apples with worms or fungus or anything like that. I don't know exactly what they're doing the grapes for. Fungicides mostly, I think. But I had to move away from one vineyard that's about 2 miles away from here. And now I think I'm going to have to move away from this area too. Both the apples and the vineyard, I think, are causing me trouble. Right where I'm standing, there's not a lot of Dutch white clover, but it's here. And pretty soon, all the poplars and the blackberries and the privets and all that stuff are going to be done blooming, and the bees are going to be after anything they can get. Now, Dutch white clover doesn't put out a lot of nectar in this region, but it's enough to where the bees will work it when there's not other better sources blooming. So, yep, just one of those things. I'm getting hypersensitive to agriculture these days. I'm trying to be very careful about where I put my bees. I think it's a problem that's not looked at closely enough by beekeepers. I think a lot of the problems we experience with our colonies these days have to do with chemicals that are locked in our beeswax, chemicals that bees are bringing home from the field, perhaps even synthetic miticides that beekeepers are adding into the toxic soup. And it causes all kinds of troubles like bad sperm, poor queens, more European foul brood incidents. The list goes on and on and on. The bees are compromised by all this. I don't have the answer. I know I just need to be more careful about staying away from all of it. Yep. We brought 120 nuke boxes with us into this bee yard. There's only 30 or 32 colonies or something like that here, and we're going to nuke them to pieces. This particular yard is a poor sourwood yard, and I've actually thought of giving it up a few times, but somehow we keep coming back. It is a really good overwintering yard. It's a good mating yard, and it's a lower elevation southern yard for us, so they build up early, and we can do splits, packages, whatever earlier down here. So we're just going to leave 1 or 2 frames of brood in the bottom box with a queen cell. Same with the nuke box, and it's not about making some big colony for this season. It's about having something that's big enough to make it through next winter. And even one frame of brood with a queen cell right now in late May will be good enough to make it through the winter. So this is about sacrificing colonies just to have something in the future. And even though they could be considered spring, perhaps early summer queens, they'll be very low mileage queens going into winter. They won't have a lot of egg laying under their belt, so to speak. So I would consider them to be very good colonies next spring. We're past the spring peak brood rearing period, so there's none of that type of stuff wearing the queens out. These will be really good queens and really good colonies next spring. So all the nuke boxes are screened and they all will be moved on to another location. John and Cody have got them all ready to go, loaded with frames. These colonies do have a lot of honey on them over an excluder. Those honey supers were full of brood several weeks ago. We shook them down and they backfilled them with nectar. So we were here a couple days ago and there is a bit of honey on here. This yard actually came along and did a decent job. So yeah, just going to sacrifice this yard for the future. Things are going well. There's lots of assets here to work with. These are really good colonies. And we're getting all the nukes we need. To be quite honest, it kind of gives you pause to kill queens that are doing this right here. And they're all like that. What these are, they're Caucasian queens that were open mated with other stuff. In other words, the colonies aren't pure Caucasian. The queens are, but the offspring are mixed. They're doing very well. Have you seen a bad colony yet, Selena?
I haven't. I haven't seen a single bad colony.
Yeah.
Nice gentle bees.
Gentle?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the Caucasian mixes.
And those are two solid boxes of honey above that excluder.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing. All the boxes are full of honey. The good colonies, like that one and this one, 100 pounds plus. It's been a weird spring. At one point I thought we'd make perhaps no honey at all or very little, and it kind of came on late. And the season was running a week early to 10 days a couple months ago, and now it's actually running late. This location is one of our low elevation southern yards, and there's still a little bit of tulip poplar blooming in late May. I've never seen that before. They're still bringing in a bit of honey. So we're just making these small nukes for queen cells. They'll get their queen cell later today. And we're putting queen cells and cell protectors in the colonies right now as we work. So all the colonies are getting requeened as we go, or recelled, whatever. But there's so many bees. I did a dumb thing. I should have brought the escape boards with us so we could just put an escape board right on these colonies and put the supers over. But even though we've knocked the colonies back pretty hard, there's a lot of bees in the supers, so they're gonna be pretty populated. We'll come back next week with the escape boards. It's time to start pulling honey. I've been bracing for it mentally. I'm getting kind of old for lifting these 80-pound plus boxes of honey, but I think I can still do it. Cody says he likes lifting things.
Well, you got me back.
I got Cody and John.
Hey now, I'm pretty strong too.
You are a strong female. I got to admit that. I'm going to tell a little story about you, okay? Brings something to mind.
Okay.
When Selena first came to work for us, all of us, me included, we were always trying to help her, like, oh, let me get that. Oh, we can lift that. She said, I got it. And one day, a couple weeks in, I asked her, I told her, I'll get that box, and she said, I got it. Okay. This is what I do with a colony that is swarmed. Leave a couple cells in the bottom, a couple cells in the second box, put a double screen board in between with the entrance facing backwards, And now we have 2 units trying to mate a queen. Of course, next week these honey seekers are coming off. This yard was split and had packages shaken out of it, so it's been a pretty good producing yard all around this year. That colony didn't swarm. We just opted to use one of the swarm cells in a 2nd-story box there too. The bottom got one of our grafted queen cells, and then in the top we put one of the swarm cells from that colony. Top swarm cell 515, bottom Golden West cell 515. Hey, John, would you take that apart for me, please?
Yep.
Just want to show what's inside. Something interesting has happened. We're learning all about hornets this year. So what's inside is nothing as far as we're concerned.
Nothing of our concern.
Yeah, there's no, what's that thing? Anyway, what's not in there is hornet queens and yellow jacket queens.
So that's a bee, unfortunately, but
yeah. So we've quit catching hornet queens. It's over. Everywhere we go, we got another one back there. Everywhere we go, we don't see any hornet queens anymore. So I guess the cycle has switched from foraging to nesting. But we're going to leave the traps up because we want to monitor things, and then when the offspring start to show up, we will hopefully start catching them.
yeah, those are the.
Yeah, we caught a lot of queens with these things, so we're thrilled about that. It's just very interesting that just suddenly in the last 10 days we've caught none. So things have completely changed. All right, we're here today to put caged mated queens in all these double screen board nukes. We just made them a few days ago. We're going to go in them and kill all the cells that they've produced and introduce a queen. And then those nukes will be meant for requeening the lower colony later on in a month or 5 weeks or something. We got a brand new bee yard. We're going to move bees in here tomorrow morning. We've given up a couple of our bee yards due to issues with agriculture and pesticides, and this is going to be one of our new spots. It's a wonderful place. It's just out of Dillard, Georgia. We're extremely close to the North Carolina border, and this is an old trailer site right here. Somebody lived here in a trailer. As you can see, all the gravel's laid out. It'd be really nice. And before that, there was an old house here. Here's the old chimney for a stovepipe. I just met the fella that has lived here since 1946. It now belongs to his nephew, who is the person I've been dealing with. Real nice guy. There used to be bees right here. There was some stands of bees sitting right here. And I actually sold the bees to the fella and the equipment too. And he was successful for a while. And then he moved out of town. And I could see that the bees were dead. They kind of looked in disarray. Weeds were 4 foot tall and all. I gave him a call on the phone and asked him if I could put bees here, and he said, "Help yourself, I'd love to have them." And I just talked to his uncle, who's lived here since 1946, and he's very pleased to have the bees here. So we found a good home, and we're putting up a bear fence right now. Our bear fences are very simple. People are kind of surprised when they see them. I figured out a long time ago that bears don't try to jump over fences, they try to go through them. So we got a hot wire, then the middle wire is hooked up to the ground rod, and then the top is also a hot wire. You need that ground wire in the middle. If the ground is real dry, a bear won't get a really good ground. When he touches a hot and the ground at the same time, they get a super jolt. This will be a solar panel eventually, but we were short one, so we're just going to run it on a battery while we get a solar system ordered. I'll bring that in within a week. We're, what are we, 1 post short, John? 2 posts?
Yes, sir, one. Just one for the...
Yeah, we need to bring in another.
It's a long gate for now until...
Yeah, that's okay. It'll work. And then we'll bring in another post for right here for the gate. and there will be 28 colonies here. I came in thinking I'd put 32 here, but we kind of ran out of space. I like that 4 or 5 foot between each stand, so we could have wandered off down into the weeds with our yard, but this just felt better staying up here. Blackberries are blooming right here right now, and this is a great sourwood yard. It's about it's about a mile and a half from one of our other yards to the east, and then up that direction to the west we've got another yard about 3 miles, so it'll be really convenient when we're out here working. We can line them up and get them all on the same day, hopefully. Well, John has got this dialed in, and so is Selena now too. And Cody's learning fast. Cody, do you have bears in Virginia?
We do have bears, yep.
You do have bears?
I use the same type of fence that you use.
So you got fences around yours too?
You gotta have it. Yeah.
Gotta have them, yeah. This is a simple ground rod. It's just a piece of rebar, which is not ideal. Rebar can rust in time and not do quite as good a job. At some point we might bring a real ground rod in here and drive it deep and get a little better ground when you do that. Rebar works for a while till it starts corroding and rusting. Using a Mag 12 charger, 12 volt battery, and I just run a weed eater through this whole place, cleaning it up. It was quite overgrown. Looks good now. This is going to be very warm here on this gravel, which I think is a good thing, honestly. I think keeping the bees warm, hot in our area is a good thing. Of course, the high beetles won't do well on this either. There's black plastic under all this gravel. This is a great spot. I'm really pleased. Good find, good find.
Yeah, it's cozy.
Cozy, quiet, secure, very secure.
Got the mountains.
Yeah, that's south right there.
We got a stream right there.
Yeah, we got a little stream running right behind those bushes right there. Good water, good everything. Good job, John.
Yeah, it was just me. You know, sorry.